The next one concerns especially parents, and that is to do with budget and finance. Admittedly, studying overseas is not going to be cheap. For one, you're paying international tuition fees. Budget that you should set aside for overseas studies is roughly about 50,000 Singapore dollars per year. Okay, this will cover both tuition fees and living expenses. If the parents are tight with their budget, then we have had cases where parents will offer to take up a loan from the bank and then put the child to task, to pay for the loan interest and the principal after they start work. For parents who can afford, I would say, maybe you can pay for the cost upfront, but then have an agreement with the kid, to pay you back. That way, your interest wouldn't accrue. There's yet another option, and that is to consider a local overseas kind of hybrid. What I mean is that you can start your tertiary studies in Singapore, cover a portion of it here, sort of a diploma or a degree program, that allows you to transfer to an overseas school in your second or third year. Realistically speaking, even with all these options, not everyone can afford the 50K per year or 100K for 2 years. Then in that case, we will have to perhaps advise that don't go into the discussion of suggesting your parents should mortgage the house or
oh my goodness,
or use the retirement fund or things like that. Be sensible, study locally, maybe work part-time or something. There will come a time when you need to, or you want to further your studies a little bit more.
Finance it yourself.
Yeah, and then fund it, and then a degree studies is or postgraduate studies, masters is only 1 year in most countries. That is something that you might be able to support. But having said that, if you can afford, it's a good experience. It's totally worth it, I think, because your understanding of the world, is significantly expanded. And you realize that the world is a very big place. Singapore is, and our lifestyle, our culture is just one tiny representation of what the whole world encompasses. It helps with understanding colleagues when you start work. It helps with conversations when you go into discussions with partners, be it it could be foreign or local. And I think it's just that maturity of thought. A lot of independence go into surviving on your own, and you learn from that process.